Well, after his initial listing in the prestigious Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival in 2020, which had to be halted due to the COVID-19 pandemic, South African house tech DJ and producer Kyle Watson has returned to the lineup this year. The festival, which takes place in mid-April, sees artists from around the world entertain patrons from all parts of the globe. Well, other African artists on the lineup include Uncle Waffles and Burna. Let's speak now to house taker, DJ and producer Kyle Watson. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us on the Weekend Report this morning. How excited are you for Coachella this year?
Yeah, it's pretty excited, to be honest. I mean, like you just said, after the whole kind of confusion and COVID and everything, taking it away from me in 2020, it's really amazing to be coming back this year and getting another chance to play.
Yeah, I mean, you're up but up there with, in the lineup, a number of, award-winning artists, Blackpink, Burna, Frank Ocean, featuring on this year's lineup. Your thoughts on that? You mean up there amongst the greats?
Yeah, you have to pinch yourself, really, to be honest. I mean, I'm just this little guy, originally from South Africa, who gets a chance to play at the most famous music festival in the world. It's mind-blowing, and I definitely don't take it for granted. It's a pretty amazing feeling.
Yeah. Now, as a house taker DJ, talk to us about your music. How did you get into it in the first place?
Yeah, so I mean, I think I grew up in a very musical family. So when I was a kid, music was always around. My parents were playing music every time we went on a road trip. We would always just kind of play albums that we were all into and stuff. So it was kind of like a natural progression. My father's been in the music industry for his whole life, so my entry into music was actually through him. He brought some software home from work, from his studios one day, and I kind of just started messing around, and it all kind of snowballed from there, really. And that was back in 2006 or 2007. I met my girlfriend, who's now my wife, and her brother was in the dance scene in South Africa. And I played her some of my music, she played him some of my music, and yeah, my first sort of record release came from there.
Yeah, but you're also a very successful producer. How do you move between the two hats, between DJing, production, or is it sort of all looped in together, or are there differences, subtle differences maybe, that you enjoy about the two sort of functions that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think with the type of music that I make, with it being, house music, it's when you make house music, when you perform house music, DJing comes along with that. That's the way you perform the style of music. So if you're making house music, then a natural sort of way to get that out to people is to obviously to go and play shows and stuff. And for me, I love absolutely, both of the skills, like the fact that I can just kind of like sit here in the lab and make music and get lost in the whole creative process and obviously create these pieces of work and get them out to people. That's amazing. That's what started it all for me. But then on the flip side, the DJing that came from that, there's something magic about just being able to play that music out to thousands of people in front of you and watch them all react while you're actually playing it.
Yeah, I mean, talking about those crowds, the Coachella crowd is a completely, different crowd. It's like one of the world's most famous festivals. What are you hoping to experience out in Coachella, playing for thousands of individuals, not just from South Africa, but from all over the world?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the first time that I've been to the festival. I've been to and played at a few US festivals already since 2018. I've been visiting the US, but never at something this scale and as something that's this well known. So I'm just really interested to see how the crowd differs, from a typical US dance-based festival, because obviously it's a festival that caters to a lot of different genres and things like that. So it'll be quite interesting to see like just the general kind of audience and how my music will be received there.
Yeah, I mean, talking about how your music will be received there, you're obviously alongside Uncle Waffles, and there's been a lot of conversation around, this interest that there is with regards to sort of African music, Afrobeats, music coming from the continent, produced locally. People around the world having real interest, having real curiosity about what we're able to produce. What's your message? I mean, what's the story that you want to tell through your music in that way?
Well, firstly, I think it's incredible that South Africans are getting this recognition. I think too, like how big the Amapiano sound has got, just not like only in South Africa, but also globally, and Afro House, and the fact that Kid Funk, who's a South African, has just been hired as the head A&R for Defected, which is the biggest record label, a dance record label in the world. So South Africans are getting this platform now, which is absolutely amazing. I think that's incredible. And I love the way that South Africans get so proud when we get like when we get like a chance to play a show like this or get put on a stage like this. I think I love the kind of weight that carries, from South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about the future of house music and where it's going, particularly in South Africa, how it's growing, how it's expanding, what are you most excited about?
I think I'm just most excited about it getting more out there, to be honest. There's so much talent in the country that I think sometimes we're on the tip of Africa. It's kind of hard to get out there. So I'm quite excited, obviously, like I said earlier, the more people are taking notice, and it's getting easier for South Africans and Africans in general to get out there on a global stage.
Alrighty, well, Kyle, we are wishing you all the best ahead of the Coachella Music and Arts Valley Festival. And, of course, fly that flag real high for us there when you get there.
We will do. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. That is Kyle Watson, South African DJ, joining the lineup of the Coachella 2023 Festival.